This drawing right here not only had me in tears, but it almost broke me, and I almost quit being an artist because of this drawing, because of an apple. In this video, I'm going to tell you a little backstory about what led to this and what actually happened and what I did to overcome it and keep working as an artist. So for some backstory, I've been I guess you could say, passionate about drawing, passionate about art since I was a little kid. You never saw me without a pencil in my hand or something that I could doodle with, sketch with, draw with, and anything that I could draw on, I did. In fact, in school, if I had spiral notebooks for different classes, they would be filled with doodles, and most of my teachers didn't appreciate it. I had one English teacher, Mrs. Bedell, that would write cute little comments about my doodles that were alongside my English homework. She was a sweetheart, she didn't mind. But anyway, that's a little bit of backstory. Loved art, always have loved art. Unfortunately, when I became an adult, I did not pursue it. And I think there are a lot of people out there that can appreciate where I'm coming from, that it's not really a field that your parents get super excited about you going into, or some parents, because they feel you can't make money in the field. So I went on and worked in other areas for the majority of my adult life. And here I am at 59 years old, and maybe once every couple of years I would paint a painting, and that would be it. And I had a massive internal critic, or external critic, that sat on my shoulder saying, you suck. And so anyway, I didn't pursue art, and I kind of kept it to the back burner of my life. And then a year ago, I said, enough. I'm an artist. I cannot keep this suppressed. So I joined the Milan Art Institute's Art Mastery Program. It's a 1-year program. It's a very intense program. And I joined it last October. And I said, this is it. I'm all in. I am doing this. I am pursuing this. This is a big part of who I am, and I'm not going to deny it anymore. So I started the program, and this wasn't the first thing that I did. There was painting, there were a couple other drawings that I did, but this might have been the third assignment that they had. And I remember I had an apple, and I remember standing out here with my pencil. This is a pencil drawing. I was trying to remember if it was charcoal, but it was pencil. And trying to follow the lesson and sketch out this apple and do the highlights and the shading just as the lesson demonstrated. And the whole time in my mind, the critic was just screaming, you suck, you're a loser, you don't know what you're doing, you are not talented, you're doing this wrong, it doesn't look like an apple, it looks like a circular blob. I mean, just everything. Anything and everything this critic could throw at me, it was just bombing me with these horrible criticisms, to the point where I'm sketching and tears are falling down my face, and I'm dropping the pencil, and I'm stopping, and I'm trying to breathe, and the critic's saying, just stop, don't do it, just don't do it. This is not for you. This is a waste of your time. You work full time. You don't even have time to do this. You're getting up at 5 a.m. to get this stuff done before work. Just stop. You don't need the stress, right? Isn't that what our inner critic says whenever we're doing something important, something that is valuable, something that is meaningful? The inner critic just wants to, man, I don't know, what is that? Somebody tell me, what is that? Because the things that matter to us, why do we have these voices that scream at us to stop? I don't know. But anyway, that's what it was doing, and I was crying. I drew this apple. Here, I'm gonna let you see a close up. You can see the apple. I drew this apple in tears, but I made it through. I kept going. And I think, I don't know, maybe part of that is because I'm 59 years old, almost here 6 decades, and there's a piece of me that knows that when stuff is difficult, that doesn't mean give up. I mean, I've certainly given up on a lot of things in my life, and a lot of it I actually regret. You know, it's funny, the biggest thing that probably drives me at my age now is regret. Man, I don't want to have regret. I don't want to be 80, 90 years old if I'm lucky enough to live that long and be thinking back to the things that I didn't do that I wanted to do. So that's really what is driving me. If you need a good catalyst to drive you to do the things you love, whether it's art or whatever, regret, man, that works for me. So I don't know if it was the regret that fueled me forward, that I knew I would regret it if I didn't do it, but I cried and kept wiping my face and just kept sketching until it was done. And the funny thing is, you know, when you're doing something close up, it's really hard to get perspective on it. In fact, a great tool when you're drawing or painting is to get back, and I do it all the time. And actually that's a Milan thing that you learn in the program, and I think I naturally did it as well, is if you're working close up, get back, stand at 10 feet, stand at 20 feet. How does it look at that distance? Because when people are viewing your artwork, they're going to view it at different distances, right? And there should be a payoff at every distance. So at 20 feet, is there a payoff? Are there things that invite you in that make you want to get closer to it? At 10 feet, is that happening? When you get up close, are there other payoffs, other surprise? Well, an apple, well, what are you going to be surprised? There's not a lot going on here. But if you're doing a painting that, like I do mixed media, I have little words or little shapes, interesting things that you can see that you can only see if you get up close. So anyway, once I stood back and looked at the apple from a distance, I'm like, okay, it's actually not that bad. I don't know what was going on. Is this a masterpiece? Should it be in the Smithsonian? No, but it's not that bad. Man, that critic. Oh, I hate that critic. But anyway, so I pushed through. I did get it done. And I woke up the next day and I watched another lesson and I walked out here to my studio and I worked on the next thing. And, you know, in life, I've just learned that when stuff gets really, really scary, I say, okay, Lisa, baby steps. We're literally going to just take one little baby step forward. Or, okay, baby step too scary, we're gonna stand still. We're gonna stand still in this present moment. We're not gonna think about back there when, I don't know, I sucked as an artist or I didn't feel supported as an artist or whatever childhood baggage I have around art. We're not gonna think about that. Okay, we're gonna let that go for this moment. We're not going to think out to the future that this is a waste of my time. Nobody will ever buy my art. You know, all the voices that tell you, what are you wasting your time for? Whatever, that kind of voice. So I'll stand in the moment, stay in the present moment. Don't think back, don't think forward, and just, okay, what can I do right now in this moment? Or what do I need to do right now in this moment? So what I would need to do is watch a new lesson, right? That would be something I need to do. Okay, I've watched the lesson. Now what I need to do? Okay, I need to walk out and put some paper out and get pencils out to draw. Okay, that's done. Now what do I need to do? I need to pick up the pencil and do the first piece of the lesson. What was the first thing? Draw the shape. And then that's how I do it. And then keep going for it. Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Keep breathing, keep going. Ignore. You know, the one other thing is I talked to different people in the Milan community because it was such a rough day, crying. And many people that had been further along in the community said that voice will get quieter. And it was hard to believe because that voice was drowning me. It did get quieter. Wow. Anything you do in life, if you keep pushing through, eventually you win and the voice goes away. You know, I think another person said, talk to the voice and say, hey, I appreciate you're trying to protect me. Maybe you're in survival mode over here. You don't want me to get hurt. You don't want, if somebody doesn't like what I do and I've spent a lot of time on it and then they say things that hurt my feelings, You're trying to protect me from that. Thank you, voice. Thank you for trying to protect me from that. But I'm okay. I don't need protection. I'm gonna do this regardless. I'm gonna be okay if everybody doesn't like my apple. And it's gonna be good enough. It's not gonna be perfect, but since when do we love perfect as human beings? Some of my favorite things are far from perfect that I love in other artists or just in general. Nature, life, everything that has been created on this planet is far from perfection, and that's what's beautiful. So that's my story. I hope you use some of this story in your own life. I hope there's some tidbits in here you find that are valuable to you. Leave comments below. Let me know. Was there something that had you in tears in your life and you found a way to overcome it, to push through and to go on? Oh my gosh, I want to hear about it. Or give me your advice. What did you use to push forward? Did that never happen again for me, where I never cried or I never felt like giving up? Yeah, right. Okay, not at that level, but do I look at my work at this point a year later and think I am a master? No, I don't think that. I'm still working at, I'm more patient. That's what it is. I'm more patient. I know there are phases when you're painting, and there are ugly phases throughout the painting and beautiful phases, and I know to be very patient. And I also am getting really, really good at question marks. In other words, I'm letting go of control, right? Because that's a biggie. That's when you get really critical, when you want control and perfectionism. But I'm also getting really okay with the unknown, with the question mark being in my future. When I'm working on a drawing or a painting or whatever it is, I don't know what the outcome's going to be, and I'm okay with that. Boy, is that freeing. Try that. And let me know your thoughts about all of this. And if you like what I'm talking about, please make sure to click the channel circle with my face and subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks.